RAMAgeddon. It's here. Let's talk about it straight ahead. Hey guys, it's Alex from Techaeris, and I'm back with another video about the RAM shortage and the SSD shortage, GPU shortages, all the shortages in 2026 that may extend out to 2028, they say. A lot of news been dropping, since I made that first video on this topic, and I wanted to follow up with another one just because it is the hot topic of the week. And The Verge came out with an article, and they used the term RAMAgeddon, which I think is going around the internet as to describe what is happening right now with RAM prices and with consumer electronics in general. I already said it a few times already. Consumer electronics are going to be impacted this year, and we are going to see shortages in laptops and smartphones and other devices that use RAM and CPUs, GPUs, which is pretty much everything. So we may not see the supply that we normally see, and that is due to what is happening right now with this whole situation. And so let's jump over to The Verge, which I have in reader mode here. So this was written by Sean Hollister from The Verge. The RAM shortage is coming for everything you care about, he says. He says, maybe you've heard memory's expensive now. The price of RAM has tripled, quadrupled, even sextupled, depending on the type of chip, all because AI companies are gobbling it up. Yes, indeed, you have OpenAI, you have xAI, you have Gemini, Google, you have Microsoft. All of these AI companies are eating up the RAM because the amount of compute that is needed to run the AI models, the LLMs, is massive. So they need that compute. Although I am still not convinced that AI is where they say it is. I am not convinced that it is currently in a state of readiness to do what they claim it can do. I think that they are trying to sell us quite a bit of, snake oil. They're telling us one thing, giving us good news, but in the background, they know for a fact it can't do what they claim it can do at this present moment. It still needs time. The article goes on to say, but maybe you've thought, I don't buy memory sticks, I don't build my own PCs, it won't affect me, right? Well, I'm here to tell you RAM is coming for your wallet anyhow. Do you have a phone in your pocket you'd like to upgrade in the next few years? Fancy a game console or a handheld? A laptop perhaps? Will you need a new router? Whether you're purchasing outright or renting from your ISP, each of these devices is expected to have shortages, price hikes, or both in 2026. And even if you don't plan to buy, you depend on goods and services from others who will be paying more to upgrade their devices. Excellent point, Sean. If you are renting, if you decide to upgrade your internet and you need a new router from your internet provider, chances are that router is going to cost you a little more to lease because of these RAM prices, and that is just about what's going to happen. He goes on to write, RAM in your phone. They also all agree that RAM shortages is about to flip that on its head. Prices will go up. Fewer products will be available. Or as Omedia research manager Li Jianqiu, forgive me for butchering people's names, I'm just going to get that out front right now. Vendors will shift toward prioritizing profitability while expanding alternative revenue streams. Flagship smartphone chipmaker Qualcomm is warning that companies will build fewer phones, period, and that remaining phones will be more expensive. CEO Cristiano Amon says a big dip in its smartphone business will be 100% because of the memory shortage. And I called it already. This is just verification. I'm doing this video mostly for verification to say, hey, this is what's happening. Even, Qualcomm CEO, he said it right there. He's got some bullet points here. So unfortunately, I think that the whole sector is impacted by memory. Number 2, industry-wide memory shortages and price increases are likely to define the overall scale of the handset industry through the fiscal year. Number 3, OEMs are very likely to prioritize premium and high tier, how they have done in the past. Number 4, we just wish there was more memory. And lastly, CFO Akash, and I'm not going to try that one, also said, We've seen several OEMs, especially in China, take actions to reduce their handset build plans and channel inventory. So what it looks and sounds like is that they are going to prioritize. You're going to see less in the way of budget smartphones, mid-range smartphones, and they're going to prioritize the flagship and more expensive handsets where they can roll that price increase into the device, because people that are buying the more expensive handsets can afford a bump in price. Not that they like it, but the way the industry sees it, they can afford it. So they will prioritize those handsets first. So you may not see so many budget options out there this year, or maybe up until 2028. We'll see. Article goes on to say, how much more might you pay? Hard to say, but IDC points out that memory represents 15 to 20% of the materials cost of a mid-range phone and about 10 to 15% of a high-end flagship phone. When we first started reporting on RAM ruining everything, IDC thought average phone prices might go up just $9. Now it's predicting the average price might increase as much as 8%, with significantly higher price hikes on cheaper phones where OEMs will have to pass the cost to end users. That means if you're used to buying a $500 phone, that might easily cost $600 or even more now. Even if you're used to $1,000 phones, you may get less bang for your buck. New flagship models in 26 will likely have no RAM upgrades, sticking to 12 gigs for Pro models rather than increasing to 16 gigs. IDC writes, we're already seeing similar. Google just announced a Pixel 10a with no new chips and the same mediocre 8 gigs of RAM inside. Even Apple, which can typically bully suppliers on pricing, is feeling pressure on its supply chain now that AI companies are writing huge checks for memory supplies, reports the Wall Street Journal. Now, get that right there. That is what is happening. The AI companies are buying out all the memory, and pretty much the consumer electronics level of the industry is not able to afford what is being paid out by the AI companies. The AI companies are taking over the supply, and that is what is leading to the higher cost, which is going to impact everyone. So let's move on with this article. It says that could force it to increase the price of its iPhones to maintain the company's profits. CEO Tim Cook told analysts this quarter that he will look at a range of options to deal with the way that the store shortage is impacting the company's gross margins. Industry sources told ZDNet Korea that Apple may pay 80% or even 100% more for memory this quarter after renegotiating with Samsung and SK Hynix, and may pay even more in the second half of the year. So you also have RAM in your gaming systems. Bloomberg reports that RAMAgeddon is also coming for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the form of a price hike, and Sony's PS6 in the form of a delay to 28 or even 29. Other handhelds are getting pricier too. Although the Lenovo Legion Go 2 will get SteamOS this year, memory shrinkflation, which means it will cost more or contain less than the Windows version when it first arrived. With less horsepower, storage, and RAM at the $11.99 mark, the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, which I thought was pricey at $9.99, now costs $10.99, $11.49, or even $11.99, depending on where you look. Laptops. Here we go. This is my bread and butter here with my laptop unboxings. PCs generally need even more RAM than phones and consoles, and they've been hit quicker because PCs makers haven't felt the need to stockpile RAM in advance. They also generally need larger SSDs, whose prices have surged 90% in a single quarter. That's why almost every major laptop manufacturer, Lenovo, Dell, HP, Asus, Acer, is reportedly planning price hikes of 10 to 20 or even 30%, and why Chosen Biz is reporting that Lenovo, HP, Dell, Samsung, and LG are rethinking their PC product roadmaps for 26. Dell reportedly already began hiking prices of its laptops by $55 to $765, depending on which components you use. And a modular laptop company Framework writes that its own costs have risen from roughly $10 per gigabyte to as much as $16 per gigabyte. And so it's selling its new laptops and main boards for 6% to 16% more than previously. So it's interesting to me because by now, what are we in? We're February 19th. Okay, it's February 19th. By now, I am getting laptops in for unboxing and for a review, and it's been dry. It's been dry as a bone right now, and I'm waiting, and hopefully I'll get some in soon. But it's unlikely that my supply of laptops coming in for review and for unboxing is going to be very light this year, not as heavy as last year or the previous year. Last year was really heavy. It's a crappy situation that we're in all around. Thank you very much, Sam Altman, and all you other boneheads in the AI bro space. So Sean closes this out by saying, when will it end? There's no relief until 28, said Intel CEO Lip Boon Tan in early February, after speaking to two of the big three companies. One of them, Micron, has publicly said the same, telling WCCF Tech that its Idaho memory fab won't open until mid-2027, and that you're not really going to see real output until 2028. SK Hynix also previously predicted the shortage would last through the late 2027, while Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung, which control about 95% of the global DRAM supply, are making enough money to increase memory production. It will take time to build the promised new fabs, and they also see it as more profitable and less risky to build out slowly instead of rushing to meet demand. Samsung is expected to increase memory wafer supply by just 5% this year. In the meantime, the RAM makers are going to profit as much as they can, with the added cost ultimately being passed on to you. That is it right there for that article, and it's just, it's verification to me of what I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks and what I made videos on, and why I'm jumping on here making these videos. I don't normally do this. This is not my thing. I don't, maybe it will become my thing now that I don't have laptops to unbox. What do you guys think about what's happening here? Are you ready for the RAM price increase, the RAMageddon? Are you going to be able to afford a new laptop, new phone, new anything next year? Are you a mid-range buyer, budget buyer? Or are you a flagship buyer? And what are you prepared for? Are you ready for RAMageddon? Let me know down in the comments below. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you make a comment below. Get that conversation going with each other, and I'll jump in there when I can. But most importantly, make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will talk to you on the other side.